Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Libra relationships, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as Libra relationships go, the first house in astrology generally will represent the paternal grandmother and maternal grandfather. And Libra, of course, will fall on the first house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So the person or persons represented can be a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody Libra-like characteristics. They could be people that are very refined, charming, cultured, tactful, diplomatic, very sociable, people that are really strongly about negotiation and they're compromising, people that are very peaceful. And it could be that one or both people may be involved in a Libra profession, such as working as like a marriage counselor, something with negotiation, arbitration, something associated with the law, such as an attorney, lawyer, bailiff, judge, a court reporter, even something that could be really somebody that works in perhaps with negotiation or anything that could be Libra oriented. So, and also too, as far as the Libra, as far as this goes too, this could be, the relationship with one or both these people can be one that's very peaceful, one in which you have a lot of balance and a lot of compromise, a lot of fairness, and one in which you don't really want to make much waves. It can be a little bit complacent, but at the same time, it can be one that's very relaxed. But if there is something that is not right or not fair between one or between two people in this connection, then it can be where someone will say something, as Libra energy, of course, is about abhorring injustice. So anyway, next thing up is, well, as far as Libra relationships go, well, the third house in astrology represents siblings and cousins, and Sagittarius will often fall on the third house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So one or more of these people may have a Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody Sagittarius-like characteristics. They could be people that are very buoyant, jocular, jovial, people that like to joke around. It could be also people that are very expansive, upbeat. You might see one or more of these people as the incorrigible optimist, someone that constantly sees the glass as half full as opposed to half empty, so to speak. Very exuberant people and enthusiastic as well, but people that can be maybe somewhat foolhardy and very risk-taking as well. Another thing is, and also one or more of these people may be involved in a Sagittarius-like profession, such as perhaps working with sports. It could be with horses, even working as a translator or some interpreter, a profession maybe with the law, doing something travel related, such as working as a cruise director, a pilot, or a travel agent. Now, as far as the relationship and connection goes with these people, it can be one that's very expansive, and one when you try to really see the positive in each other and always be, or at least constantly be, very encouraging. One in which you really can maybe continually learn from each other, where you're really, they have really learned perpetually from one another. And one, too, another as well, where you're where there's a lot of joking and jocularity, but where you're really speaking your mind as well, and you can be very blunt and forthright and not mincing words, sometimes to the point of demoralizing one another. But anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as Libra relationships go, the fourth house in astrology represents the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, and Capricorn often falls on the fourth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So this person may be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be someone that's very orthodox, conventional, conservative, very cautious and prudent. Somebody that's very perhaps very serious and really very responsible, and maybe even seems older than his or her years. A person that can be very consistent as well. And also, this person could be someone in a Capricorn-like profession, such as working as a financial planner, just doing general mundane work, someone in dentistry, somebody that works in business or works as a landlord, a person in authority. It could be somebody that works in some kind of management, and really just something that could be, or even information technology. Um, and also, as far as the relationship goes with this person, it can be one that is very, really very consistent, and one which you know what to expect from each other. A relationship that is just very conventional and orthodox, so to speak. One where really where it's very serious as well, and where you don't really express a very strong whimsical quality with one another, but it's one which is could be very reliable as well, but one where maybe there's something. I mean, Capricorn energy can often be restricting and limiting, and there might be something restricting and limiting connected with this connection. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as Libra relationships go, is the fifth house in astrology. And the fifth house in astrology represents children and love, romantic relationships. And Aquarius often falls on the fifth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So the person or a person or people represented by this can be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody Aquarius-like characteristics. It could be people that are rather innovative, eccentric, eclectic, non-conforming, people that might even have the rebel in them or have the maverick in them, perhaps even. People that are very humanitarian, express a lot of selfless qualities, people that can be very group and friendship oriented. Now, also, too, it could be someone or one or more of these people may be involved in Aquarius-like profession, such as working as an innovator, inventor, somebody that might be in a computer or electronic field, someone that may be doing something with electricity, working as an electrician, working in an esoteric subject such as astrology, working in aerospace, astronomy, and even rocket science in some cases. So also, too, as far as the connection goes with one or more of these people, there might be something unusual or even bizarre in some cases, you might say, connected with this. It could be one where you perceive one or more of these people more as a friend than somebody that would be like either in some cases a child, because it's about fifth house about children, or even a romantic partner in some cases. You might see it almost more as a friendship with one or more of these people, but one where selfless giving may be involved, and one which you express some humanitarian instincts, but you might experience unpredictability with these people as well. So anyway, next thing up is as far as Libra relationships go, well, the sixth house in astrology represents the less dominant parents' siblings. It's often the mother's siblings, and of course these are going to be aunts and uncles. And Pisces often falls on the sixth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So one or more of these people may have a Pisces Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody Pisces-like characteristics. Could be people that are very idealistic, sometimes somewhat nebulous, unclear, indecisive, ambivalent, people that express strong emotions, people that can be intuitive, ones that could be really ones that might overlook the transgressions in others. People at the same time might be somewhat deceptive or duplicitous even. And also one or more of these people may be involved in a Pisces-like profession, such as working as a medium or psychic or with the paranormal, someone in the metaphysical, which could include astrology, somebody in spirituality, working in something connected with illusion, such as special effects, or as a magician or an illusionist, someone in chemistry, photography, dancing, poetry. So anyway, as far as the relationship goes with one or more of these people, it can be one where a lot of idealism and compassion can be expressed, and a lot of self-sacrifice as well, and one where you really don't have much anticipation necessarily in getting something in return, but at the same time you can be a little bit touchy with each other, as Pisces can be very super sensitive energy and can be one which might be maybe tarnished, unfortunately, with a little deception and duplicity. So anyway, next thing up, as far as Libra relationships go, the seventh house in astrology represents a significant other, a marriage partner. It also is connected with the maternal grandmother and also the paternal grandfather. So this is and of course Libra will always fall on the seventh house cusp. I'm sorry, Aries will always fall on the seventh house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So this could be where one or more of these people represented by this house cusp can be an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Aries-like characteristics. They could be people that are very single-minded, people that are very fiery, combative, argumentative, ones that could be very confrontational but yet fearless, courageous, have a lot of fortitude and courage and valor, and really and also perhaps very aggressive and assertive, and ones that don't really want to procrastinate or hesitate on matters. Also too, it can be one or more of these people may be involved in an Aries like profession, such as working as an EMT, a surgeon, welding, firefighting, anything with fire, like arson investigation. It could be someone that even in sports, perhaps in some cases, especially a combative sport such as teaching boxing, karate, or wrestling, or even mixed martial arts. But also too, as far as the relationship goes with one or more of these people represented by this sign on the seventh house cusp, now it can be one where you really where it's very outspoken and direct, and where words are not minced, where you're very straightforward with each other, and really one where basically if somebody is doing something wrong or is out of place or out of line, basically it'll be stated very readily. And the thing too is about this as well, it could be somewhat combative and confrontational, the connection with one or more of these people, but it can be one where you stand up for each other in a pinch and not afraid to stand up. And really, if somebody is really in a bad situation with somebody, you're apt to really stand up for each other in those kind of situations. So anyway. Well, the next thing up, as far as Libra relationships go, well, the eighth house in astrology represents intimate sexual relationships. And Taurus often falls on the eighth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So one or more of these people could be a Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Taurus-like characteristics. It could be people that have great powers of perseverance, endurance, ones that are very persistent, yet might come across a little bit placid, even boring, even to some degree, but very reliable, and people that are very loyal and steadfast. Ones that could be very stolid and really could be very astute as far as things of a monetary nature go. Now, also one or more of these people can be involved in a Taurus-like professions such as working as a financial advisor, stockbroker, finance and general banking, working as a cashier, a pawnbroker, because pawnbrokers, of course, are about knowing about value of material items, and that is, I mean, that is like a Taurus-like thing. So, I mean, of course, that's very well connected with Taurus, um, and also maybe even gardening or cultivating, architecture, even. So, anyway, also too, as far as the connection goes in the relationship with, as far as the person or people you're in an intimate sexual relationship with, it can be ones where you express a lot of loyalty and steadfastness and persistence and willing to persevere through the really strong adverse times of the connection. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, the ninth house, as far as Libra relationships go, the ninth house in astrology represents in-laws and grandchildren. And Gemini often falls on the ninth house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So, the people, or one or more people represented by this house cusp, can be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Gemini-like characteristics. It can be people that are very mercurial, changeable, fickle, vacillating, but very loquacious, talkative, being able to talk on a wide divergence of subjects. People that have manifold interests are very versatile and also very dexterous in being able to use their hands very well in a very proficient manner. So also too, one or more of these people can be involved in a Gemini-like profession, such as working as a journalist, a reporter, writing, a writer, working in broadcasting, data, satellite communications, something that involves the use of the hands, such as working as an auto mechanic or refrigeration mechanic, and maybe some profession where they are multitasking, even working as like what I call like a store float, or someone that kind of just does a little bit of everything and has a lot of job variety and diversity. Now, also too, as far as the connection goes with one or more of these people, may be seen as a little bit superficial, as Gemini energy can be that way, but one that's very lighthearted, and one too where you may talk about a wide divergence of subjects, and one in a connection, of course, that can rarely be monotonous or boring. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is, as far as Libra relationships go. Well, the 10th house in astrology represents the dominant parent, which is often the father. And the zodiac sign Cancer often falls on the 10th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So this person represented may have a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Cancerian-like characteristics. It could be someone that's very nostalgic, protective, one that reminisces a lot, but one that might be brooding as well. A person's very sympathetic, has a lot of compassion, but very strong emotions, and can be exceptionally sensitive to criticism, ridicule, derogatory remarks. But one that is very, really, one that can be really very nurturing as well. And also, this person represented could be involved in a Cancerian-like profession, such as a home caregiver, a historian, somebody that may be involved in some home business, a person that might be involved in home renovation, home improvement or repair, roofing, siding, doing culinary work, cooking, working in a restaurant, doing or even in a fast food outlet. But as far as the relationship and connection goes with this person, the dominant parent, this could be one where you very nurturing toward one another, where you show and express a lot of sympathy toward one another, one that's very protective, but where strong emotions are expressed as well. And it could be one where you do a lot of reminiscing, about the past, good and bad, and also one, two, where really you could say where the two of you might be a little bit sensitive to criticism and ridicule from one another, derogatory remarks, insensitive about that. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, well, the 11th house in astrology represents friends and stepchildren. So for Libra, the zodiac sign Leo will often fall on the 11th house cusp in a solar natal chart. Now, this could be represented, one or more of these people can be represented by, or represent, I should say, could have a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Leo-like characteristics. They could be people very flamboyant, ostentatious, extravagant, people that have a difficult time living within their own income, ones that are very confident, self-assured, but yet can sometimes be loud and boisterous. Can be people that have very good presence, ones that have a lot of courage and a lot of fortitude as well, and ones that really like to be very extroverted as well, and you may, or at least you may at least see them as that. Now, anyway, and also too, one or more of these people may be in a Leo-like profession, such as working as game design, whether it be board games or video games. Someone that works as like maybe an actress or actor or actress in the entertainment field, in theater. It could be movie production. Someone that might work with children or in some creative endeavor, doing something that really commands a lot of attention, and whatever is might be something where they get a lot of notoriety and recognition. And also too, this could be, as far as the relationship goes with one or more of these people, it can be one where you show a lot of strong loyalty, a lot of courage, one where a lot of generosity is expressed, whether it's through monetary means or just being generous and magnanimous in connection with your time with each other. But it can be one where it's somewhat extravagant, where you might spend a lot on each other as well, and show maybe that love perhaps through purchasing gifts for one another, but one where really I think it's and one that you take a lot of pride in as well. So anyway, well, last but not least, the 12th house in astrology represents the less dominant, I should say the dominant parents' siblings. So they are aunts and uncles, and the zodiac sign Virgo often falls on the 12th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Libra. So one or more of these people represented may be a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Virgo-like characteristics. Could be people that are somewhat persnickety, fastidious, meticulous dressers, people that are very analytical or detail-oriented, but can be a little bit picky in particular and somewhat judgmental and critical, but ones that are very service-oriented and might even be, let's say, fanatical about health, but really enamored with health and fitness. Now, one or more of these people may be in a Virgo-like profession, such as working in data entry, computer programming, detailing vehicles, working as an editor, something, and anything that involves some kind of correction. Somebody that's in a health or nutrition field, working as a fitness trainer, a nutritionist, something where they feel they're providing a very strong service to others. So even maybe doing something with analytics, we're doing extrapolation of data. Anyway, as far as the connection and relationship go with one or more of these people, this could be one where you might provide a lot of service to one another, but one where it's a lot of criticism as well. Perhaps usually not, it may not be really negative or offensive, but it might be constructive. And one where, it's talking about before the service but to each other, but generally not in an unwanted or officious manner. And also one too where you might be very attuned to each other's health needs and being able to help each other out, in terms of when one might be sickly or debilitated, and being there for each other during that time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Libra relationships. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about Scorpio relationships. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.